Everyday Americans benefiting from no tax on tips. The State of the Union also comes amid a massive U.S. military buildup in the Middle East and tensions with Iran. Levitt says the president's first option remains diplomacy to end Iran's nuclear program.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The address is dividing Democrats, with more than 30 planning a boycott in opposition to Trump policies. But others will make a point by attending, including Minnesota Congresswoman Angie Craig.
I would rather stick forks in my eyes than be here tonight to listen to Donald Trump talk about the State of the Union. But this is the people's house, and I will not abandon the people's house.
A partial government shutdown continues, impacting funding for multiple agencies in the Department of Homeland Security as Democrats push for immigration enforcement reforms. A much bigger reward now offered by the Guthrie family.
Over 3 weeks of waiting, hoping, and praying, Savannah Guthrie saying on Instagram that her mother, Nancy Guthrie, may no longer be alive.
If this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is.
Guthrie announcing a $1 million family reward for information that leads to her mother's recovery.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Investigators believe the 84-year-old was taken from her Tucson home February 1st. The family also donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. America.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will bring mostly cloudy skies with a breeze, but temperatures won't be as cold as before, reaching a high of 40. Tonight, expect clearing skies with a low of 25. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny with breezy conditions in the afternoon and a high of 38. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. This November, Illinois voters will have the chance to fire Governor J.B. Pritzker and replace Dick Durbin in the U.S. Senate. Don't miss AM 560's Republican debate on Thursday, February 26th, as candidates for governor and the Senate will debate. Hear the debate live, starting at 7 p.m. right here on AM 560. Or watch it live on the AM 560 YouTube channel and Facebook page. It's the 2026 Republican debate, exclusively on AM 560. The Answer.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Did you know most remodeling mishaps start before construction even begins? Here's something else you should know. At Forever Remodeling, we do things differently. Every kitchen, bath, designs, a clear scope of work, and accurate pricing, all sorted out before you get started. No surprises, no stress, just beautiful results. Done right the That's the number 4, EVER, remodeling.com. And schedule your free in-home consultation today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-682-3311. That's 800-682-3311. 800-682-3311.
If you'd like a smartphone that's really smart, download the OnePlace.com app, the app that will inspire your faith daily and provide answers to the biggest questions of all. OnePlace lets you download your favorite pastor's programs and listen, even offline or in airplane mode, with easy connections to your Bluetooth speaker or dashboard. To download your free OnePlace app, visit the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store for your Android device and search for OnePlace. That's OnePlace.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Scott Tucker Solutions and his show Retirement Decoded. Sunday mornings at 8. Learn more at scotttuckersolutions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Chaos in the 9th Democratic Congressional race. Good morning, Amy Jacobson.
Multiple situations of chaos in the 9th. Oh my gosh, these Democrats.
That voice belongs to Jeanne Ives. This is The Real Story. You can watch us on YouTube at Breakthrough Ideas or on Facebook page, Breakthrough Ideas, or at 560theanswer.com. Call or text us, always open, 312-642-5600. We've got a lot to get to today. Of course, the State of the Union address, what Democratic politicians are in, who's out, and why.
What's Melania going to wear?
Maybe, you know what? I didn't even think about that.
Well,
we're having our big watch party tonight.
That's right.
So
what are you wearing, Amy?
I was going to ask you that
I don't know.
I know. I don't know if I should dress up or.
I haven't figured that out.
It just stinks sometimes being a woman.
Well, it's so cold too.
Yeah.
I mean, do I want to wear high heels in this weather? No.
No, we don't. But we're going to start though in the 9th Congressional District. This is the seat to fill Jan Schakowsky's spot. By the way, Jan is not going to be attending tonight in case you're keeping score, in case you care.
Well, and I think Tammy Duckworth is too busy, throwing F-bombs with Juliana Stratton. I think she's not attending either.
Right. Yeah, she's one of the senators who's sitting out. And then we have this very bizarre presidential response. Mm-hmm. We have Mayor Johnson, who's having a Q&A right now, and then he's flying off valiantly to Washington, D.C. to meet Jacob Fry and others. So the official response, Democratic response, is from the governor of Virginia. Mm-hmm. And then they're having all these sidebars. They're all meeting at the National Press Club. Mm-hmm. And like we care what they have to say?
No. Is it Mandani going to be there?
Mamdani, he's shoveling a woman.
Shoveling for $30 an hour?
Yeah, he had to raise it. Because nobody was showing up because nobody has 5 forms of ID. I don't have 5 forms of ID. All right, so this is what's going on in the 9th Congressional Democrat primary race. State Senator and current congressional candidate Mike Simmons. You know Mike Simmons? He's got the flamboyant hair. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it's freedom of expression. He can
nearly every single year he files some bill in the state legislature dealing with hairstyles.
Okay.
And liberalization of it, whether it's in sports or school or you name it.
So he's had a little kerfluffle, so to speak. Reported to Chicago police, a woman called the police on him while he was canvassing for votes in the Northside Buena Park neighborhood. This happened on Friday, but there's a video. Simon's in the stairwell of an apartment building while a woman speaks on the phone. Now, he asked if she's on the phone with the police, but she doesn't answer. He said, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to let you know that's against the law to call police on or any elected officials who's knocking on doors. So he was there with others. We have audio of it. Just listen carefully, and we can translate later if need be.
I'm going to let you know that it is against the law to call the police on an elected official who's knocking doors. I know because I passed law in 2021. And so if you would like me to leave the building, I would leave the building. But I'm so disappointed in how you chose to handle this situation at a time when police have been known to get into deadly altercations with people of color. I would expect more from my neighbors. But you take care.
Thank you.
So basically said, I'm going to let you know that it is against the law to call the police on an elected official who's knocking doors. I know because I passed the law in 2021.
Okay, I could not find that law. Granted, I haven't searched completely, but I could not find any reference to that law in 2021. But I did find this. He passed a bill to take out alien when referring to illegal aliens.
Oh, of course he
yes,
did.
We can't do that anymore. So he's the word police as well. But I mean, look, people need to know who he is, honestly. Like, this guy is nothing more than a political hack and a hypocrite. He's the former deputy commissioner and policy director of the Department of Planning and Development for Chicago, so a taxpayer-funded do-nothing job. He was the deputy director at My Brother's Keeper Alliance, an Obama Foundation initiative, another do-nothing job at an NGO. He was a legislative aide for U.S. Senator Dick Durbin in D.C., another do-nothing job. I mean, this is who the guy is, and he's the first openly gay senator to serve in the Illinois Senate, which he put in his biography because he's so proud of it. And you know what else, Amy? That's really disturbing. So I actually he's one of the people that I researched because when we were trying to hold on to the tax credit scholarship, these Democrat legislators and where they went to high school, because a lot of them went to private school. Well, he's one of them. So I was outside Senn High School where it's in his district. He represents his district. And at that time, 25% of the kids read at grade level and only 20% of them did math at grade level. But Simmons, he never went to public school.
He wasn't a Senn Bulldog?
No.
I love Senn, by the way. They're the best dean there ever.
Are they really?
Oh,
okay, well, that's good. I mean, great.
Love that school to pieces.
But I mean, their academics are terrible.
I know.
And this is one of the schools that he represents. But Mike Simmons grew up privileged. He did.
He did?
Yes. He was apparently bullied in middle school for being gay. So he got a scholarship to St. Ignatius, the top Catholic high school in the city. St. Ignatius. I think they paid $25,000, $30,000 a year to go to St. Ignatius. It might even be more than that. And then he went on to another private school, Amherst.
Oh.
So this guy who basically got all of his education through the private school area shut down private school choice for people in his district that could use a way out of their terrible performing schools. That's who Mike Simmons is. And now he's out canvassing and he puts up the "I'm an elected official, don't call the police" garbage.
Chicago police said they are investigating. They did arrive at the scene. We don't know the whole context of the scene. I mean, we didn't see what happened before.
Right.
She may have asked him to leave and he refused and kept asking questions about the building. It's hard to know. But if it is a secured building and he was canvassing inside the secured zone, she had every right to call the police. But here we are again. I mean, it's just another great example of the arrogance of politicians. They believe that they're better than us. Therefore, they believe that they do not have to follow any of the same rules. They can break any rules if it achieves their goal. And I think he's a little desperate because right now he's at 3%, guys. 3%. That's embarrassing. So when I saw this, Jeannie, because I didn't watch it once or twice, I watched it 3 times. To me, it seemed so staged to get
some publicity.
Because this is going viral. I mean, this video is.
Hey, he needed to raise
going
his name
viral.
ID and the fact that he's running in this district because you know what? Who's taking over the lead in this? Dan Biss and Kat.
Meow meow. Kat.
Those are like their number 1 and 2 in the polling in that race.
And that brings us to our next story because do you know what canoodling means, Jeannie? When you canoodle with somebody, because Daniel Bliss and Kat.
Is that something?
Abu,
is that like snuggling with your dog or something?
Canoodling. Kat Abudugazola. Boy, did I butcher that one. I've been practicing all morning, people. Kat Abu Gazella appeared to cozy up to each other and enjoy drinks at this historic Chicago bar. I believe it was the Green Mill. Less than a month when they were set to face off each other. Did you see these pictures of them
I saw
together?
those pictures. I mean, if that were my spouse, I would say, what are you doing, dude?
The photos depict Biss, who is married with 2 children, seated closely next to Kat, more than 20 years his junior. They're in a booth at the Century Old Bar with what appeared to be multiple alcoholic drinks on the table. They could have been non-alcoholic, but that's a lot of non-alcoholic beverages to be on a table. In one photo, Biss is seen smiling, holding up a glass in the direction of Kat.
Oh,
Another
he is gazing at her with desire. I mean, you look at that picture.
Another shows the mayor, because that's right, he is the mayor of Evanston, tilting his head toward the influencer with just inches separating the two Democrats. I mean, some people say, oh, there's nothing inappropriate going on. No, they look so comfortable, Jeannie, that I feel like they've been there before, that this isn't the first time. But the problem is Kat, she's got, and this is very serious conditions, she's got narcolepsy. And she missed not one but two events because of it. She's said in a quote, "My condition is usually well managed, but like with any disability, has flare-ups, and today was one of those days. I ended up sleeping through alarms, many calls, and even my campaign manager knocking on my door repeatedly." So she seemed genuine in her apology, but she announced in 2024 that she has narcolepsy. And if that's the case, should you be out at night if you have a sudden attack? I
don't know, but who goes out for drinks with their opponent in such a cozy situation? That is just that's so bizarre and weird. But can I talk about Dan Biss for just a moment here? Because when I entered the state legislature in 2013, he was just starting there as well. Okay, and then in 2018, when I ran in the Republican primary, he ran in the Democrat primary.
Oh.
And he actually claimed that he was the only person with students at public school that was running for office in the primaries. And I'm sitting at my son's basketball game at Wheaton Warrenville South, and some other parent says, "Hey, Jeannie, I thought you had kids at public school." Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm sitting here at Wheaton South watching my kid play. Of course I have kids. So he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's also one of the most radical people about a lot of things. And, people need to understand who Biss is. And honestly, Laura Fine's not my cup of tea either, but she's in that race. I would prefer Laura Fine, and I served with Laura Fine. I would prefer her on the Democrat side over Dan Biss. And just to put an exclamation point on who Dan Biss is, he was at a coffee shop and he confronted Ted Dabrowski. And I just got to read this because Ted wrote this back in 2018. "Politics has moved from disagreement into rude public attacks. When your own elected representative confronts you in public as if taking cues from Maxine Water, it becomes all the more outrageous. I just experienced that firsthand. My own state senator, Dan Biss, approached me in front of the food counter at my local Panera. He was nasty and aggressive in what he said and how he said it, and he thought he could just walk out and have the last word. No way." Some background. Biss and I argued public policy in the past, both in panel discussions and on policy forums. We've always been on opposite sides, whether it's been pensions, income taxes, or health care reform. And he goes on, "Biss has never liked my positions, and he let me know that in the past, but this time was different. He was leaving Panera with a companion when he saw me, then approached me while I waited in line at the counter. The following exchange took place. Biss said to his colleague, 'Do you know this guy? Do you know this guy?' His companion shook her head, 'No.'" Oh, he's with another girl again.
Uh-oh.
"This is Ted Dabrowski. He's a horrible person." I smiled, thinking the opening joke was over and that we'd actually have a normal exchange. Still hoping things would take a better turn, I looked at his colleague and said, "Dan and I don't agree on much." Then Dan went on, "We are going to destroy these guys, destroy them." At which point he turned around and walked away. His colleague, now realizing she should walk away too, seemed confused. I asked her, "Are you a candidate?" She said, "God, no." And that was that. But that's how that he had a disagreement with. He's a radical, and if I were a Democrat, I would vote for
leading the charge for reparations in
Evanston.
Evanston. And you
That's
don't
right.
have to be a descendant of slaves. You just have to be black to apply. And the program's was supposed to pay for reparations, and it's not working out so well.
And the federal government is suing him up.
Up on the real story, you guys are going to want to pay attention to this. You're not going to hear this story anywhere but here. Early voting program, voting booths inside high schools. We'll get there with Jeff Fiedler, who's the executive director for Chicago's Republican Party. You're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
You're listening to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
There's one thing I really want to say to Donald Trump. If you come for my people, you come through me.
That was Pritzker's challenge to President Trump. But who are Pritzker's people? They're the more than 1,700 illegal alien predators he helped escape from ICE. They're the illegal aliens whose health care, rent, and college tuition you pay for. You can't afford to stay because Pritzker makes you pay for his people. Well, I have a message for you, Governor. I'll be coming for you and going through you. Your days and the days of sanctuary living for your people are over. I'm Ted Dabrowski, your conservative candidate for governor, and I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on March 17th. Paid for by Ted for Illinois.
Don't miss cutting-edge coverage of daily news on the Alex Marlowe podcast.
For so many years, we thought we would see terror. Is it a Muslim? Now we're starting to think, is it a trans person? And we've indulged all of this. It's completely our fault, self-inflicted wound. We've run so hard away from the science and towards insanity. They'll never stop. They will never be done. They will always try to take more. They will always try to create more chaos.
Subscribe to the Alex Marlowe podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Raise your hand if chronic pain is making you feel old, older than you actually are. Ongoing pain can really turn your golden years upside down. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics patients right here in Chicagoland are getting relief. And it didn't happen in an operating room. Dr. Caravelli and QC Kinetics medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon, Patrick's golf game is on fire again, and Andrea's back in her garden. These are real QC Kinetics patients. The sooner you start, the sooner inflammation and pain eases, and the sooner joint damage slows down. So don't wait. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments and tell them I sent you when you do. Your visit and consultation free. Call now, 312-827-6261. Again, 312-827-6261. Call QC Kinetics at 312-827-6261.
If you're over 40 and plan to retire someday, the window to protect what you've built may be smaller than you realize. As retirement moves from someday to on the horizon, protecting what you've built becomes just as important as growing it. And that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. They help investors reduce risk by adding gold and silver to their portfolios. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making investment decisions.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back to The Real Story with Amy Jacobson and Jeannie Ives. You can watch us at Breakthrough Ideas YouTube page, channel, so to speak, or at Breakthrough Ideas Facebook page, or online at 560theanswer.com. As always, we are here for you, and we have a busy day. We have a lot of news to get to, and this is something that I have not heard anywhere except for on AM 560 The Answer, and a lot of our listeners are going to hear about this for the first time. High school students, polling places in high schools, basically for early voting.
Yes. So we welcome Jeff Fiedler to our program. He is executive director for the Chicago Republican Party. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us and for bringing this to our attention. I can't imagine a worse program than this. I just can't even believe it.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me on today. So a little bit how this started. So last week, someone presented Commissioner Sean Morrison with a letter from Stagg High School that I guess they received because their student attends Stagg High School and perhaps is eligible to vote. And it said that Stagg was part of a pilot program in Cook County where 24 high schools are going to be participating on Thursday, February 26th, in an early voting, like I said, pilot program throughout the county. From what we understand is Stagg High School and most of the 214 schools, but we haven't gotten a list from the county clerk, Monica Gordon, yet, as of this morning, as to where that's going to happen. It's only one day, and it's only supposed to happen during their lunch period or study period, and it's for students who are eligible to vote, but also faculty and staff and administration. So we have a lot of questions that we posed to the clerk's office on last week. And as of this morning, Commissioner Morrison has not gotten any answers. So we may have to take a walk down there sometime today or tomorrow to find out what the story is, because we're really concerned about the poll watching aspect of this.
Okay, so I'm reading from the press release. This is the Cook County Clerk and Chicago Bears launch historic high school early voting program. So the Chicago Bears organization is a partner in this endeavor. It makes me not want to support them with any tax money.
Yeah, well, they're leaving for Indiana, so I don't think we have to worry about that too much longer.
Well, I mean, so this is a one-day thing, but it's not something like it's a straw poll, like we're just going to let people vote, decide who they want for a governor. This was actual, real voting with the use of student election judges who have been trained apparently, but we know how this works. In Illinois, you can same-day register, same-day vote. That would be one of my major concerns if they're going to go through that process of allowing same-day registration.
Right. I mean, you can imagine the peer pressure as well.
For sure.
What they're being fed in class and what some of their fellow students about, what ballot do you pull? Do you pull a Republican? Do you pull a Democrat? Do you pull a Libertarian? We're thinking that they're probably going to be angling towards the Democrat ballots, and we want to make sure there are poll watchers there to, make sure it's all at where it's supposed to be, because the judges are students. The students have been trained to be judges, so there won't be any experienced judges from, past election cycles to make sure this all runs smoothly. It's the Cook County Clerk's Office is going to drop the materials and do the setup on the early voting machine or machines, and the students are handling it. So I mean, good deal that we're teaching students the civics of elections, but don't you think somebody ought to be monitoring this for the first time?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because this is not a simulation or a classroom exercise, and I thought you guys would be happy because it's your civic duty to exercise your right to vote as Americans. But I understand the peer pressure, especially because they're all showing their true colors during these anti-ICE walkouts, which we'll get to in a second. But what bothers me is the Chicago Bears are going to officially serve as the community civic engagement supporter, which means they're going to provide Bears branded items to the students who participate.
That's like buying a vote.
Like here's a koozie. What are they going to be incentivizing them with? Bears tickets?
I doubt tickets. Tickets are too expensive. They just went up last week. So
a girl can dream,
probably
Jeff.
Hats, T-shirts, koozies, like you said. So that's probably what it's going to be.
Is that legal?
Well, they give you a sticker when you vote. So I guess if they give you a T-shirt, that's okay too. I mean, it's not party, but it's certainly suspicious. I mean, this is a test for the general election in November, where they will expand it to every high school in Cook County.
Well, how about the fact that you're going to have teachers pulling a Republican or a Democrat ballot in front of their students? And we've always thought that in the past that students really shouldn't know which side the teachers sit on, even though, unfortunately, it's pretty obvious these days. But then you also have this reverse happening where if teachers are even in the area of monitoring it, they're going to know which students pull a Republican ballot.
That's right. Yeah.
This is not good.
Pressure. I'm sorry.
This is not good.
Peer pressure before. Right.
So what are you guys doing? Are you guys going to be there as poll watchers? Who's going to be monitoring this?
Well, there's a group of about 8 of us that are monitoring this, and I know that some poll watchers have been kind of put on standby. My question to the board last week, and they didn't have an answer, I said, well, what if every candidate sends a poll watcher? Because that is possible.
Yes.
A candidate could.
Okay, and then did they have to get security screened by the school to be there?
That's the other question they didn't have an answer for. So,
well, stay on top of it. And Jeff Fiedler, we're up against the clock, but Executive Director of Chicago's Republican Party, we'll have you back on, and we will stay on top of this story. The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson, AM 560, The Answer.
This November, Illinois voters will have the chance to fire Governor J.B. Pritzker and replace Dick Durbin in the U.S. Senate. Don't miss AM 560's Republican debate on Thursday, February 26th, as candidates for governor and the Senate will debate. Hear the debate live, starting at 7 p.m. right here on AM 560. Or watch it live on the AM 560 YouTube channel and Facebook page. It's the 2026 Republican debate, exclusively on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. It's been 24 days. Today's show co-host Savannah Guthrie announces a new reward in the case of her missing mother.
Savannah Guthrie saying on Instagram that her mother, Nancy Guthrie, may no longer be alive.
If this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is.
Guthrie announcing a $1 million family reward for information that leads to her mother's recovery.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. President Trump delivers her State of the Union address tonight, formally invited by House Speaker Mike Johnson.
And he's working, and we're all working together to make the country stronger, safer, and more affordable.
I would rather stick forks in my eyes than be here tonight to listen to Donald Trump.
But Minnesota House Democrat Angie Craig says she will be there for the speech at 9 p.m. Eastern. Some Democrats, they say they'll skip it and attend a rally on the National Mall instead. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect mostly cloudy skies with a breeze, but it won't be as cold as before with a high of 40. Tonight will bring clearing skies with a low of 25. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny with breezy conditions in the afternoon and a high of 38. Thursday will see considerable cloudiness with a high of 39. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Active Liver from New Nordic protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Robert Anderson, president of McLaughlin Body Company in the Quad Cities, and a customer of Signature Bank. When our 100-year-old family-owned manufacturing company was looking for a new bank, we found an excellent partner with Signature Bank. Signature Bank understands the challenges with manufacturing in today's highly competitive environment. We recently participated in the New Markets Tax Credit Program and were fortunate to have the experts at Signature Bank help us navigate the complexities of this program. With Signature Bank's support, we were able to expand not only our facility, but ultimately our business. If you're looking for a trusted banking partner for your business, look to Chicago's own Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And You'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we're going to get to Mexico in 1 second. We're going to take this call real quick. 312-642-5600 is the number and the text line. Let's go to Charlotte and Wilmette. Good morning, Charlotte. How are you?
Yes, fine, thank you. It's a couple of years ago, but my neighbors took their sons down to Illinois, and they were someone was speaking, and they noticed, of course, little kids, a man with his head all the way back, snoring. And so the mother said, "Oh, that was this." Not paying any attention, and kids are noticing this. And what does that accomplish? And what does it look like? I always remember that, and I can't stand the man. That's all I have.
Are
to
you in the
tell
9th Congressional District?
Yes, I am, and I'm sorry I am. It's been horrible.
Are you pulling a Republican ballot or a Democrat one?
I always pull Republican.
Okay.
Always.
Very good.
All right. Thank you all. I love your show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for participating. And, as we get closer to the election, we will have Republican candidates on the show. I think maybe first week in March, we just plow through them all.
Sounds
Any
good to
Republicans
me.
running for office. And we can open
I
up
wonder
to
if,
Democrats. Wait, hold on. Let me talk. We can open it up to Democrats, too. They could come on. What do you be like? No. Come on.
I just wonder who will be coming on our show because I got some pointed questions.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you do. I
Mm-hmm.
don't mess with you, West Point grad. All right. The other big story making news, not only here in Chicago, but across America and Mexico and Canada, because a lot of Canadians are in Mexico too, is the murder of the boss, El Mencho, in the state of Jalisco. And that's where Puerto Vallarta is, Nueva Vallarta, Chapala, Guadalajara. And according to the U.S. Embassy, they've told Americans to shelter in place. And one person that is doing that is a very dear friend of ours who has had a home there for 20 years, David Kulsak. Good morning, David. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. I'm actually not sheltered in place. I had some friends that were just leaving, and they just called me right before this call now and said that they were safely through security at the airport and that the airport operations have resumed as regular. So that's kind of good news.
Oh, that's great. So just tell me what the heck happened and when did this all start?
Well, so there's a lot to it, but I think the most important thing is this El Mencho guy. El Mencho is the nickname of Nemesio, which that's a surname down there. Anyway, he's a really bad guy. He came to the States a number of years ago in the 80s. He got busted for dealing some heroin. He got caught. He did some time in prison, and then he got deported back to Mexico. He then immersed himself in organized crime, working for the Michoacan Cartel. He was a calculating guy, ruthless and violent, and then he founded this new Jalisco New Generation Cartel in about 2010, and he became one of Mexico's most dominant, and feared organizations there. And they've got very few pictures of him, so he did a good job hiding. And under his leadership, his cartel aggressively trafficked cocaine, methamphetamines, heroin, fentanyl into the United States, but he also diversified into extortion, fuel theft, and human smuggling, child smuggling, and attacks on rivals and authorities. So he was known for this extreme violence and ambushes on police that we saw on Sunday. He's just a bad guy. So anyway, again, what happened there is essentially the cartels, they used to leave these tourist areas alone, but now they are officially terrorists. I mean, they're narco-terrorists. So in response to his capture, and my rudimentary understanding, as everybody's is that they captured this guy and there was a gunfight. They got him in a helicopter and they were going to bring him to Mexico City alive, and then he passed away in the transportation, and so he then was dead. And so in response to that, you can imagine all the lieutenants or whatever they're called, captains or whatever inside the cartel, their response was, let's just burn it all down. And so they went into 7 different states, and the most visible one was the Puerto Vallarta, because it's never been, when you go on that strip, it's almost like going to Vegas without the gambling. And there's all kinds of hotels there. There's all kinds of places to hang out, nightclubs, lively dinner places, and it's always felt very safe. And so this was a real shock to the system. And the pictures that I saw, I mean, they were just horrific. So that's kind of what happened. And, that's step one, I guess.
Well, was it? I know the Mexican army or military killed him, but it was with U.S. guidance, correct? We helped locate him. Yes.
Right. So I think you have to look back and appreciate the politics that have happened in Mexico over the years. So I've been there 20 years. So my first experience was that the first guy that was the president that I encountered was Felipe Calderón, and he initiated a militarized war on drugs right away when he got in. Using he had a kingpin strategy. So he wanted to take out the head of the snake. And he took out something like 25 of the 37 top drug lords. But this led to the cartels splintering and becoming more violent. And then the next president, they get 6 years and only one term. So the first president that I encountered and paid attention to was Calderón. And then Peña Nieto came in, and he cracked down the same way, but he de-escalated his violent response, and he used law enforcement and lawfare, essentially. He showed a little force, but generally he left the cartels alone, and it was on his watch that El Chapo escaped in 2015. That was embarrassing. But again, he was from the same PRI political party down there. And then AMLO came along, Lopez Obrador, who is the previous guy to this president, and he was famous for saying, hugs, not bullets. And he created the National Guard and got rid of the Federales, which is a hybrid, civilian military force. And that he wanted to focus on public security. He did some disruption of the cartel finances, but he largely, again, looked the other way. All of these presidents have been very symbolic in gestures to the people of Mexico, saying, hey, we got the cartel under control. We're going after them. But they really haven't. So then you've got Claudia Sheinbaum, who is much the same as her predecessor. So she embraced the hugs, not bullets philosophy. So going after this kingpin doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless she didn't do it and we did. And also you look at the response that they had, which was none. If I were going to be taking out a kingpin in Mexico, I would think, hey, in these big cities, let's put some police presence. Let's put 500 guys on the street just in case something happens. I mean, you would think they would do that. Look what they did after George Floyd here, right? So it's a natural human response sometimes when people are on the site. The cartel is ever present there. It's part of the culture. It's part of the whole deal there. So it's real hard for me to kind of square the circle there to think that she was totally prepared. She ordered the strike and all of that. It's too neat in a bow for my brain to wrap around.
Well, 70 people are dead, including 25 Mexican National Guard. They burned down the Costco. They were taking American tourists because 6.3 million visitors last year to Puerto Vallarta and Nueva Vallarta alone, taking them out of their cars and setting their vans on fire. So once this happened, why were people from a nearby hotel in your house?
My house is part of a resort, and they have employees. And once all those employees got stranded, I actually had a friend staying in the house, as I just mentioned. I offered there were 2 rooms that weren't being used. I offered to the hotel, these people can't go home because the roads are blocked. They have to stay somewhere for the night. And then presumably we didn't know anything. On Sunday night, we were like, this could be an all-out war, and it may return. Who knows? It's the cartel after all. So we put them up. But the real problem here is that this cartel that has always left the tourism alone, because their only form of making money in Puerto Vallarta, other than a restaurant or some service business, is tourism. So once you go after the tourism and you destroy, I mean, I don't know anybody who wants to go down there right now. I mean, I've seen some crazy people getting on planes, but until things really settle out, I'm not going to go there myself. So. But the bottom line is they burnt the buses that are something like 6 pesos. You can take a bus from Vallarta all the way up to Sayulita and use the public transportation system. But these buses, they burnt, I think, 17 buses, and they did it purposefully on the main street so that they would cause disruption. So nobody can go to work. Nobody can return from work. Tourism is going to be down, I'm sure, drastically. So the cartels really are punishing the people, and that's the real problem. And so I love the people of Mexico are one of the main reasons I have a house there. I absolutely love the weather, obviously, but the people, especially of that region, when I speak Spanish, people tell me I have a Puerto Vallarta accent because I've learned my Spanish by, talking to these people. So they're so friendly. And every time you sit down at a restaurant, they just want you to be happy and they want you to be, having a good time and they want you to return. And so this is a real gut punch for them. And so, I would encourage people once this is under control, which again, they say it's getting under control and the hotel that I'm part of is resuming total operations as normal today. So that's good news.
So they're welcoming new tourists, right? They're welcoming guests back in?
They're welcoming people if they want to go. But, I know a lot of people that want to go, and even friends of mine that are supposed to go for their spring break, they're calling me and saying, should we go? And my answer is, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to get in there because if there's something like 25 to 30,000 expats down there, U.S. citizens, and then there's Canadians as well. So I think there's a huge presence of, Americanized people. And if one of those people gets kidnapped or killed, I think the gloves have to come off from the U.S. I don't know.
Well, do you feel safe?
Mexico, I don't think, can do it alone.
I mean, do you feel like, would you walk outside of your house right now and take a walk or go to the tienda?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
I'm in a kind of a remote area, though. I'm not in downtown Vallarta, but I've seen people all over X today because I'm really monitoring this, and I have lots of friends that are there that report back that things are getting better.
Okay, and again, what's news here on The Real Story is that your friends that were staying at your place were able to return to the airport.
Well, they're at least at the airport, and they're through security, and they're going to be flying home back to, I think, Detroit today. So it's good news that it's open.
Yeah, because didn't they burn some aircraft?
No, I think that was
fake news.
I saw that AI. I mean, I saw they were burning the cathedral in downtown Vallarta. That wasn't true either. And I don't think Costco actually burnt. I think it looked like it was burning because they had 10 or 12 cars that were burning in front of it, and it might have had some fire damage. But I think a lot of that's been ginned up by just, AI and people, wanting to, really make clicks, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm going to put one comment in here. If you freaking want to go to Mexico, travel at your own risk. I'm not interested in doing some sort of huge diplomatic thing to rescue Americans who go down there in the midst of all this cartel violence. Seriously, what the hell? Even the State Department has a travel advisory, and it classifies states under level 2, increased caution, warning of risks of violent crime, kidnapping, carjacking, and robbery. 8 states, including Baja California, I can't even pronounce these things, are at that level. Level 3, reconsider travel. There's 6 states at that level. Okay, and then there's level 4, do not travel due to active organized crime and cartel violence.
And how many states are in that category? Is it Jalisco? Probably?
Yeah, the list goes on.
Okay.
I mean, this is like seriously, you're going to go down there and go to some resort. I don't know, probably have crap drinks that get you in trouble. That's happened
Not
too.
where David stays. No,
well,
no.
I mean, okay, but go ahead, travel at your own risk.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested in rescuing your butt.
Freedom of movement.
Right, and I don't think, I agree with you on that. But you also have to understand that the danger's been there, and it's been there forever.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
It's ubiquitous. It's you're just now seeing it come to fruition. And like I said, if you look back in history, and at least my history there, when the swine flu came out, they dissuaded us. There was a level 2 warning that you shouldn't go to Mexico. And I had a 1-year-old at the time, and I was one of 17 people in the resort, and there was no flu there. There was no swine flu there. So, I mean, there were a few cases. And then COVID, of course, that hit. The whole place shut down. Everything was. So there have been times in history where I've seen these. I've probably seen 7 to 10 don't go to Mexico warnings throughout my time there. And I can tell you, it's just not that way. That the cartel usually keeps people away. It keeps away from the tourists. So, again, they've got a real problem on their hand because what you're speaking is exactly what everyone's saying, and I hear that sentiment, and I totally understand it. But I can tell you, once this gets restored, I don't think that we need to rescue those people because I think they're going to be getting out today. If they want to leave, they're going to be able to get out on their own today. But if you go down there again and you get in harm's way, it really is on you.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's totally on you.
That's my point.
All right, David Kolsuk, we're going to have to leave it there. I'm not going to tell you to stay safe because I hated when people said that during COVID. Stay safe, but you got it, and your family.
Are we not
got
adults
family.
here?
I know, we're good. It's
Yeah,
all
we
good.
are.
All right, David, thank you so
Great
much for
show,
joining
girls.
us on The Real Story,
Thank you.
AM 560, The Answer.
Don't believe the official narrative? You've got the real story on AM 560, The Answer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
John was an active man. He'd go for runs, walk the golf course, and always take the stairs instead of the elevator. But then bone-on-bone knee pain got in the way and affected his mobility. It became too painful to even go for walks. And when it seemed like John's only option was knee replacement surgery, a friend told him about the Joint Relief Institute and their affordable, non-surgical knee pain relief. John met with the Joint Relief Institute and discovered their lubricating gel treatment could rejuvenate his lost cartilage. Safe, effective, no surgery. Long story short, John is now back to being active without pain or medication.
There is an alternative to knee replacement surgery. Stop living in pain. Call the Joint Relief Institute today, 708-315-6800, or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. That's 708-315-6800. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted. Reclaim your mobility with the Joint Relief Institute.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, they're at it again. Anti-ICE high school walkouts. This
yes.
one,
yes,
it
got to get to this.
Yes, Taft. Punching some people. What else are they doing here, Jeannie?
Assaulting anybody who gets nearby.
Well, and then they have signs that say F ICE, which is the new rage. You know, the Democrats love to swear now, whether it's F Trump or F ICE. And it's really not going away.
Well, I don't know if I told you this, but it's always really been my opinion that superintendents are the most cowardly public, quote unquote, servants, public officials, bar none. That because this is under their purview to control. They obviously control the school boards because the school boards, for the most part, never push back against them. This is their area, and the superintendents are not controlling them. And the second most important person is the principal. The principal sets the culture and the tone of the individual school. He also has complete control over that individual school. And so what you have is leadership run amok. They don't care. They're letting the kids do this. They're letting middle schoolers walk out with no supervision.
And don't forget,
this is insane.
Middle schooler, 11-year-old Harley Bisnell, special needs, left unprotected after a chaotic event at Dundee Middle School. He was left on Route 72, had to call his mom because he was lost because he couldn't physically keep up with the other kids. I had no idea what he was protesting against.
Right.
And then that leads me to Kevin Morrison, because I finally heard back from District 214. And I know I've been harping on him, but it was very disturbing to see hundreds of kids from Elk Grove Village out on busy Arlington Heights Road with blank eye signs, Mexican flags, blaring. Somebody had a boom box, the old school boom box, blaring Mexican music. It's fine. Whatever. There's no teachers around.
No, not whatever. Not whatever. This was during school hours, correct?
Oh, yeah. But some claim they were on their lunch break. They have an open campus. But I'm not buying it. But here's the thing. Kevin Morrison, he was at Conant High School, then at Elk Grove, then at Prospect High School. He's the Pied Piper wearing a suit. He's a Cook County Commissioner, 15th District, but he's also running for Congress in the 8th. And, he loved the attention.
You may have seen our last post. It kind of went viral. I know there were a couple hateful comments, but if you're like the majority, you probably also feel inspired by all these kids standing up, walking out of class, and fighting back against this administration and ICE. And if you're like me, you also agree that we need a new generation of leadership in the halls of Congress. So I hope you'll join me at one of our upcoming town halls to hear directly from me.
When I hear from him, I can't wait for the election to be over. But here's the thing. So I called District 214 because I asked, was this walkout student-led? They responded, yes, the walkout was student-led. So was this during lunch break? The activity occurred during the school day. Some students chose to participate, were at lunch. Others just left campus, and attendance was taken in accordance with standard procedures, whatever that means. Why was Kevin Morrison there? Did he sponsor the walkout? They told me, quote, we have no idea how Kevin Morrison is communicating with students at these 3 different high schools. District 214 just has Prospect and Elk Grove, not Conant.
Okay.
And then I said, well, was there a background check needed? Because if I want to hang out or volunteer, or if you do.
Or maybe if you want to be an election judge.
Normally you have to be, this is what I go through, fingerprinted. You have to authorize a background check. You have to get tested for TB. That's it. Like, you have to. Those are non-negotiable. That's what you have to do. Said no background check was needed because he wasn't inside the school. If he came inside the school, he would have to show an ID. And I went, oh, an ID? I thought you guys don't like IDs. And again, she said most of the kids were on their lunch break, but, quote, we can't stop a child from leaving the building. Asked about parental notification. She said no parental notification is needed. And some of those kids are 14, 15 years old. 312-642-5600 is our phone line. You can also text us on that very same line because this is just, it wasn't the answer. I mean, you can't just allow strangers to be with our kids.
Well,
and I'm not suggesting anything nefarious with Kevin Morrison. I'm sure he doesn't have anything in his record. It probably would have come up by now, but assumption is the mother of all screw ups. And there's different rules for different people. And if you're promoting a Democratic political agenda, have at it. Have access to our kids. Why not? Take them. Where do you want to go? Let's go down. Let's go 2 miles down Arlington Heights Road and then make a right on Beesterfield. I mean, it's moronic is what it is.
Well, Amy, honestly, people do need to watch this video because this wasn't a protest. This was a brawl outside of a strip mall. That's what it ended up in, a complete fist fight.
Are you talking about Taft?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what was happening here. These aren't ICE protests. These are kids being unruly with zero supervision. I don't know why, if a parent wouldn't actually allege assault or something like that on their child if this happened. But the bottom line is, again, the schools are out of control, and nobody's bringing them back into control.
And they don't care. And
No,
parents,
they don't.
this is the time to wake up. This is when you have to do it. Real quick, Democrats not attending the State of the Union.
Okay.
Like you care. Sean Cassidy. Shocker. Quigley, my guy. Not my guy, but I'm in his district. Danny Davis is still deciding. Dahlia Ramirez and Jan Schakowsky's not going to be there. Wah, wah. And you said Senator Duckworth?
She said she wasn't going to be there, and then other people say report that she's going to bring a guest. So who knows? But she's probably too busy making those Trump videos with Juliana Stratton.
Have a wonderful day. God bless you. God bless America.
At Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace, dementia care isn't just what we do, it's all we do.